Hi everyone, it's your old pal Jason back. You know, this week decided to do a video this week instead of showing some of my collection. Um, Man, just doing my like I said, sports card, sports, reactions to things and thoughts and all that. Um, I've been thinking about something. I'm sitting in my car doing this video because my sister's home and she can get kind of loud when she's watching stuff on videos and TVs and stuff. So you guys know she screams in the background. It's all good when she gets happy. So I figured I'd do this out of my car, in my driveway, just chilling. So to get with it, my little thing I've been thinking about lately is like women's sports and sports card community, and not that there's anything wrong with it. Collectors collect what we want, what we like, da da da. It's you collect what you want, you collect what you like. But I notice there's not much of a push like there are with like the men's sports. Um, so obviously men's sports has been around a long time, baseball, football, da 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 da. It's all good, It's all good. It's understandable. And I myself, I collect, as you all know, Red Sox baseball. I'm a Jets football. Celtics for basketball. I collect men's sports too. There's nothing wrong with it. But you guys also know I collect cards like WNBA cards, and I think now is the time to where there's been a big push with women's sports. Let us as a community, let us as a card collecting community, collectors community, embrace that a little bit more. Let's push these women's sports cards out into the market a little bit more. Like we're pushing them out in the market. Don't get me wrong. We're pushing them out in the market. They're getting recognized. Panini is doing a great job with all their variations, and they're doing the big push on on WNBA cards. They're doing the big push on the college nil cards. They're big push on that, and I think they found their niche with that. I think they need to focus all their energy on two sports, two sports. Women basketball. Well, three. Let's go three because one's coming up. One's starting this year. So let's get Panini to get up there. People want to give more options out there. We want to give Topps more options. Don't let Topps and collectors and don't let collectors and Topps and PSA run everything. Don't let them be the only sole priorities people in the sports industry, sports card industry. Let's get Panini back up there. Let's give them some competition. Because like I told you many times, ever since SGC was bought out by PSA and collectors, everything's ever since SGC and Beck is going to be. I personally, I looked at another grading card company, and you guys all know about that, and I'm checking it out. So let's give them more competition. Let's help Panini. And I like Topps. I like Topps cards. I really do. I think Topps and Bowman, they're one of the best cards. They found their niche. They found baseball. They found that's their niche. So let's get let's help Panini find their niche. Let them be competition with Topps. Let's get more variety, because I like that variety and things that are bring up worth of other cards and stuff like that. So where I'm going with this is, as like I said, you guys know I'm collecting WNBA cards. I've got Paige Beckers I collect, but I also collect women's basketball cards too. Usually specifically UConn. I have other players besides UConn, like Mackenzie Holmes, who play for Indiana. I have a few Caitlin Clark cards, which play for Iowa, but and I have some Haley Van Lith, and I picked up some cards that before they were with UConn, like Kaylee Heckel. She was with LSU before she came to UConn. So I got like her cards. So it's not strictly just straight UConn, but for the most part I do. Let's start pushing the popularity of these cards out, because all I'm seeing is everybody just pushing the guy sports out there a lot on the YouTube channels, the sports cards collectors. I know there's collectors out there that collect WNBA cards and Panini cards and with the WNBA cards and besides other women's sports cards like women's baseball and women's hockey, and I don't know if there's any. I don't see much of those channels out there. I don't know if anybody really collects any of those cards. In my own personal search, I mean, they could be out there. I could be wrong. They could be out there. Those collectors could have their own channels, and maybe they're not out there. But you see stuff like Jeff Wilson. All he talks about the sports card investment, sports card collector investment. All you see on his videos are just... I have not seen one WNBA card on his sports card investors. I have not seen one of them on there. Even when Caitlin Clark is as popular as she is, I haven't seen him do a thing. And I know that her cards values go up. Caitlin cards values go up. And we all know Paige Becker cards values go up. We all know, look at Juju Watkins and AZ Fudd. There's cards of hers that have gone up. There's Sarah Strong. We know her cards have gone up. Hidalgo from Notre Dame. We know her cards have gone up. Like, there's a lot of great athletes. Even the old-time greats like Cheryl Swoops or, Lobo or just, how about some of them? Witherspoon. We know their cards go up. We know there's people who want them. Why not? Why can't we promote some of them too, like we do with the other sports? Like, I know he's saying like great values, but come on, I know there's great values. There's got to be great values in those. But even if you look up at those apps, it's hard to find any women's cards on there. It's like you can't find nothing. You can't find the women's cards on there. You can't get good prices on sure. You can't. There's no inventory on them, even though there is inventory out there. We all know this. WNBA's been around for 27 years. The cards are out there. I've looked at some of the cards myself. Why aren't we promoting any of that? Why is he promoting it? He's a big investor in the sports cards. Why is he looking at some of them? And yes, I'm going to call Jeff Wilson out. He's one of the big ones. Like, I only seen maybe one in the 3-4 years that I've been collecting and watching some of his videos. I've maybe only seen 2 videos of him promoting one Caitlin Clark and one video of Paige Beckers. And that's when Paige was still with UConn. So why aren't we promoting this? And then you got another thing Panini should try to get into, which you don't see a lot, is another niche they can try to get into is hockey. There's like, I don't see anybody really putting any effort into hockey cards. I know I'm not a hockey fan myself. I'm not a hockey kind of guy. I mean, I will go watch a hockey game, and I have like teams like the Albany when they were the Albany River Rats or Albany Devils or the New Jersey Devils. I'll watch a game. I have no problem going to a hockey game. I have no problem watching it. It's just I'm not a big fan of it, but I'll go watch it. Like, I like the fights. Or like this past summer or past winter, I watched the U.S. win the World Cup in the Olympics. I watched them win the gold in the Olympics. Same thing with the women's hockey. I watched that the month Sem won the gold in hockey. So there's another avenue Panini can pick up. Panini can pick up hockey, both men's and women's, and they can continue to push big with what they're doing with WNBA and college. I think those are 2 great aspects, but I think we also need to push those out there to, we need to get some card collectors online. talking about their collections with that. We need to get some, so just word of mouth out there. Everybody's like, a lot of them just, I don't see it. I don't see them on YouTube like this. It'd be nice if other people start those type of channels up. I get it. Not everybody likes doing YouTube and likes doing their own thing, but it'd be nice. It'd be nice to see them. Like, let's get this big push. Let's show the popularity that is around WNBA, and these players like Paige, Caitlin, and Nafisa Kara, and all them. I'm not even gonna say Angel Reese because I think she's the worst player in all basketball. But that's just me and her bounce. It's the only reason why she's the top leader in rebounds because she gets her own missed shots. But that's just anything. That's my own opinion. But you got DJ Carne, you got a lot of good female basketball players, and they need to be recognized. And like I said, you got a lot of good ones coming up. Sarah Strong, you got Izzy Fudd, you got Juju Watkins, you got Cook coming up. So I think Panini keeps doing what they're doing. Like I said, with the WNBA cards, I think they need to look into getting another niche because Topps got baseball, they got basketball. Let's see Panini get women's basketball, which they already have, and college basketball, which they already have, and then we'll see them get hockey out there. Let them give Top some collection, Top some competition, some sports. And I think that would be really cool. I mean, that's just my opinion. I'm just probably rambling. I'm probably not making no sense. But I think I hopefully, I like to see a lot more YouTube videos of collectors that are collecting WNBA cards. And see them and get that push out there. I like to see these big guy YouTubers like Jeff Wilson and Teapot and all them start acknowledging WNBA cards into their talk. They're talking about soccer, which is great. They brought soccer to the talking, but I want to see them. Yes, I'm calling them out. I want to see them guys start bringing in, just start talking about WNBA cards and bringing that world into there, because they're a big influence, and they know it. They're a big influence in the card community company, sports card collecting company. They know they're big influencers. So if they start talking about collecting WNBA cards and just checking over, like doing their top 5 that they do every week, there's got to be a WNBA card in there that's top 5. Even if it's an old one, they got to be increasing. But, let's get some of these other big influencers talking about that. And the third thing with his Panini can get into is another niche is going to be, you got this new women's professional baseball league that's starting up here in 2026. They got I think like 16 teams, I think it is. I don't know too much about it. I got to research it, but they're actually they're bringing back women's professional baseball teams, and they're starting the league up, and it's supposed to start up this year, 2026, and they're going to play at fields like Fenway and stuff like that. Panini needs to wake up and get into that contract, sign that women's, and start pushing cards out with them and the teams. Start doing that. And going back to Panini with the WNBA, they got Unrivaled. Make a case. what you could do is for case hits with their cards they got now with the WNBA, somehow sign with the players of Unrivaled to say, hey, let's make case hits of you guys in your Unrivaled uniforms. Let's make those big case hits. You know, there's not many of them. There's only 8 teams and 6 players per, Unrivaled. Panini can maybe sign with the players. Hey, let's make you guys, the big hits in our WNBA packs. How would you guys feel about that? Are you guys okay to make a contract with them? Do team sets, do something, you know what I'm saying? So, I like Panini. I like their direction they're in now, and the direction they're going, because Topps isn't touching that, so it's giving diversity. So I like that. I like that, and I need that. I think that flow for them needs to continue and open up a little bit more and expand on that. Because going back with Unrivaled, right now they have Unrivaled players. So it's like they have Panini instance of like Paige Beckers already and Alicia Gray, all in like in situational shots. Panini instance situational Paige Becker rookie card, but let's try to actually get like rookie cards of Unrivaled, like actual, like what you're doing with your NBA card, WNBA cards. Let's try to do something like that. And like I said, maybe the next step with that is get a contract with Unrivaled and be like, hey, we would like to take you Unrivaled players and make you case hits in our WNBA cards, in our WNBA sets. Are you guys down for that? You guys can case hits. I think that would be a great idea. And like I said, they need to get into, again, finally, the women's professional baseball league that's supposed to be starting this year. And I like to see them get into hockey. Get your niches right there, where Topps ain't touching. And I think Panini can become even stronger. Get your license in those 4 areas. And I think if you get those licensings, or stay with those licensings that you already have, like your licensing with WNBA, like you already have right now, and the colleges, you keep those and expand with like what I just gave you ideas for, and get those licensings. You could be even a greater front runner, a greater opponent decision thing with Topps and collectors. That's just my rambling idea. I don't know if any of it made sense to you. I hope that some of it did. I know I talk fast. I don't know. Give me your thoughts. I mean, I think some about this stuff a lot sometimes when I'm me as a collector and me who likes sports. And I think those would be pretty cool ideas. Hope someone from Panini is listening. Maybe, they can bring it towards the board members. We'll see. We'll see what happens in the future. But Panini, you keep doing what you're doing, but we got to get, like I said, we got to get some of these big YouTube sports card collectors, influencers out there talking about, talking about more about the women's sports. They pay attention to it. They just don't push it like, they talk about it, and they watch it. We gotta get them to talk about it more. I'm all for women's sports, and I'm all for both sports, men's and women's sports. So those are just my thoughts. Here it is, 20 minutes on me rambling. Probably lost you about 10 minutes ago. But yeah. Usually when I have a thought, I just try to push it all out, and sometimes I push it out too fast. Hope I didn't push it out too fast. And we will get back to showing you more of my collection in the week to come. I've just been very busy with my personal work and life and things going on, happening. So, I think I'm pretty much caught up with showing you guys what's in my cases. I think I'm gonna show you guys next my team sets. I got 5 team sets, and I'm trying to determine if I'm going to do it by years, or I'm going to show you a whole binder with all these years, or I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do that with you guys right now. Because I don't want it just to be, look how many cards I got. I want you to, like, you know, say like, oh, that's a nice card. That's a nice, you know, design. That's like that, you know. So I don't want to, like, show you 20 years of Tri-City Valley Cat cards, and you guys don't actually get to look at them. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do that with showing you that as part of my collection. Should I do a year or two? Should I, you know, just, I don't know. I got to figure that out. So I think I pretty much showed you guys what I got as far as my boxes, my cases, and my graded cards. I should be getting back my degree grades card soon. The degree grading card soon. I found out 2 days ago that they were in the encapsulating stage. So, which is the last stage, obviously, before they mail them out. So, hopefully, I'll get them back in about another week or so, or a week or two. Hopefully, get them back soon. And I'll do an unboxing video on that and show you. Well, because I got 4 submissions out, 2 and 2. So 2 submissions should come back around the same time, and then the other 2 should come back around the same time. So we'll see what I get, and hopefully, you know, I'll share that with you and what I'm going to like about it and any dislikes. So, all right. Thank you if you've been around this 22 and a half minutes here listening to me ramble. I appreciate you. Yeah. Thanks for sticking around the 2.5 minutes. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.